Good afternoon, everyone. Well, we can do better than that. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It is certainly my honor and my privilege to be here this afternoon, and I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank you, Leah, for your very nice comments. I'm glad to know I'm your favorite out of the 435. That's a lot. And I welcome the panel discussion on the progress made and the challenges that remain in achieving gender and ethnic diversity within the United States Armed Forces. I want to thank the German Marshall Fund for organizing this conference and for asking me to host this panel. I also thank our service members and the many representatives from allied nations who are here in the audience today. I am the ranking Democrat member of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform within the House of Representatives. And in that capacity, I have promoted efforts to enhance diversity across the entire federal government spectrum. One of the most critical components of this effort is our goal of enhancing diversity in our nation's military. In 2008, my senator, Senator Ben Cardin, and I would work together with members of Congress to create the Military Leadership Diversity Commission, which was charged with evaluating and issuing recommendations on diversity in the armed forces. In 2011, the commission completed its work and issued a report. Among its findings, the commission concluded that, and I quote, top military leaders are representative neither of the population they serve nor the forces they lead, end of quote. The commission also issued 20 recommendations to enhance diversity and remedy these deficiencies. And I said back then, and I said today, is that we can always do better. Last year, we held a congressional forum with members of the commission and the armed forces to obtain status reports on the commission's recommendations. Although there had been some significant progress, we found that many recommendations were placed on standby in a holding pattern, with more than half of the recommendations still under review or in the process of being implemented. And as the President has often said, we must realize that we have to act in a very urgent way, because when we fail to do that, there are lives that are being suspended, careers that are placed on hold, people who should be moving forward but not. But there's another group of people that we don't think about so often when we are not making these decisions and moving people forward, and that's families, the children. And so, to follow up on these findings, I introduced legislation called the Military Leaders Enhancement Act, which required the armed forces to implement many of the Commission's recommendations. I'm very thankful this legislation was included in last year's Defense Authorization Bill, which President Obama signed into law. The purpose of today's discussion is not only to hear about the military's ongoing progress in implementing the Commission's recommendations, but also to work together to chart a course for progress in the future. The things we do today, hopefully, and during our watch, will affect in a positive way generations yet unborn. This is not just for the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I emphasize, this is our watch. We're in place now. We hold the positions now. The question is, what will we do? As the Commission stated in its report last year, the diversity of our service members is the unique strength of our military. I could not agree more. For that reason, the pathway to leadership must be open to individuals of every race and every necessity. And let me add this final thought. Ethnicity. I'm sorry. Let me add this final thought. We just celebrated the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s March on Washington, and the 65th anniversary of the abolishment of racial discrimination in the armed forces. We need to recognize how far we have come in this struggle, and we must never forget the sacrifices that were made. And there were a lot of sacrifices made. A lot of pain, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears. But we also must understand that we need to continue this effort because the decisions we make today will affect generations to come. And we must always protect our progress. My mother, who was a former sharecropper, used to always tell her 7 children, it is important to go up the ladder, but make sure you don't slip down. I don't want to go backwards. And so, to make sure we don't go backwards, we must make sure that we're consistently moving forward. With that, I thank Rear Admiral June Ryan and Director Clarence Johnson for being with us today. As the former chairman of the subcommittee on the Coast Guard and Maritime Transportation, and now in my position as ranking member of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, we have worked together to ensure our nation's military is representative of the American people that they serve. And I know that the goal of diversity in our military is a shared one. And you make it a priority every day in your service and leadership. And so again, I want to thank all of you for being here today. And I want to make sure you look to your left. Go on, you can do it. Smile at them and look to your right. Go on, look at him, smile. Show him some teeth. That's all right, they're not gonna hurt you. And I asked you to, if you go smile, you trying to teach him how to smile? We're in trouble. But the reason why I ask you to do that is so often we forget that, you know, when we gather in situations like this, the people who will find the solutions to the problems are sitting right next to us. And sometimes we don't understand, and all of you have come here together for a cause. You have that in common. And all of you have ideas. And all of you want to make a difference. And so, again, I want to thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from our panelists. And I want to thank the staff. So often our staffs do not get the credit that they deserve. But it is simply impossible to do the jobs that we do without them. And I really appreciate our staff. We have some of our staff members here. Here's Leah. And are there others, Leah? Give them a hand, please. And the reason why I always mention staff is because, as you know, we just went through government shutdown. Did y'all know that? Did you? Hello. And so often staff, they're ridiculed, but these are the same people that are texting me at 2 o'clock in the morning, the ones that get here early, the ones that are working on weekends, trying to make a difference. And so often they're unseen, unnoticed, unappreciated, and unapplauded. And so I take this moment to salute them also. Thank you very much.